In this video, I'm going to show you how to weigh your protein and food scale and track it in a calorie tracking app. And I do think this is the best way to be accurate with your protein goals, but I did find this food scale at Target. It was only $20. Make sure you go grab one today if you're going to do it this way. But we're going to change our units to ounces to weigh our protein in. And I'm going to use chicken tenderloins. It's really quick. You're just going to slap your protein on the food scale in ounces. And I'm measuring out about 7 ounces of chicken tenderloins. Once I've measured it out, which again takes about 5 seconds, I'm going to open my FitnessPal, a calorie tracking app, to go ahead and track my chicken tenderloins. This is how you do it. This is a calorie tracking app that I use called MyFitnessPal. Make sure you download it. What we want to pay attention to every single time that we open up MyFitnessPal is just diary. You don't need to worry about calories, carbs, or fats. We are just using this app right now to only track your protein sources. I repeat again, we're only tracking protein sources for right now. So what we are going to go ahead and do is, if you remember from a couple seconds ago when I weighed out 7 ounces of chicken tenderloins, I'm going to show you how I track that in MyFitnessPal. So I'm going to tap on diary on the bottom. Assuming I had that for lunch, we'll just tap on add food, go to the top. We'll type in exactly what the protein source is called, which is chicken tenderloins. And I know the top listing is the correct one just because when you look in the back of the nutrition label, it says 4 ounces is 110 calories. Now, if you need help figuring out the right listing, you'll usually just see the average of all the listings. For example, you'll see 4 ounces, 110 calories. The bottom one says that. The third one says that. The fourth one is pretty close to it. And you see a trend here. So we're going to go ahead and tap on the top. To adjust to 7 ounces that I weighed on my food scale and that I consumed, we're going to tap on serving size. We're then going to scroll, change it to 1 ounce, because that's what we measured it in. We measured this protein in ounces. Tap on number of servings and change it to 7. And that shows that we had 45 grams of protein for that meal. Check mark it in. Now, while we're at it, let's just go ahead and keep going. So let's say for breakfast you had 3 eggs. You're going to go to breakfast, add food, go to top. Now, you wouldn't search for 3 eggs. That's not a good habit to do when tracking. You're just going to search for egg. Now, I know 1 egg is 70 calories because it says it on the nutrition label of the egg carton. So we're going to tap on that. We're going to change number of servings to 3. Check mark that in. And then let's say for snack time, you had a scoop of protein powder. So let's say add food. Now, the supplement brand that I use is called Core Nutritionals. So make sure you type the supplement brand that you have. And protein iso. I know this top one is correct. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1 scoop because that's what I consumed, or you consumed, for example. Check mark it in. And let's say for dinner time, you had a taco bowl that had ground beef. The ground beef is the protein source that you had. Again, we're not tracking in that taco bowl the rice or the lettuce or the guacamole, nothing, just the protein. So you're going to search for ground beef, but we need to be specific when we are tracking. Was it 93% ground beef? Was it 80% ground beef? Let's assume that it was 93% ground beef. This is just an example, by the way. So I know the top one is correct, but let's finish typing in 93% ground beef and search. And we see the trend that 4 ounces is 170 calories. So we'll tap on that. Let's assume we consumed 6 ounces of that. So we'll change it to 6. Now, to find out how many grams of protein you've had in the day from all of these, we're just scroll down our diary, tap on nutrition, and we'll see we had 123 grams of protein for the whole day. I do recommend, by the way, every single night before you go to bed, spend time on MyFitnessPal and go ahead and daydream and envision and plan out the protein sources that you are going to have the next day. So you hit it and you attack it, and then you execute on hitting your daily protein intake. Just a quick recap. Number 1, spend time at night planning out your protein sources for the next day in MyFitnessPal. The most successful clients that we have at Evolve do this. They are serious about their protein intake. They're serious about building muscle. And if you are serious, I highly recommend tracking your protein sources in MyFitnessPal and also weighing it out on a food scale. Number 2, be specific when it comes to tracking your protein sources. For example, if you have a cheeseburger, did you have 80% ground beef or was it 93%? When you go into MyFitnessPal to track a cheeseburger, you're not going to search for cheeseburger. You're going to search for ground beef. When it comes to salmon, was it Atlantic salmon or sockeye salmon? For chicken breast, was it skinless and boneless, and so forth? Just be specific when it comes to tracking your protein sources and what type you actually had. Next one is try to track your protein or try to weigh your protein sources when it's raw. Just because when you do cook it, it will shrink in size. For example, if you go ahead and cook chicken breast and you weigh it out on a food scale and it comes out to 6 ounces, when you go into MyFitnessPal, just go ahead and track 7 ounces. Add an ounce if you weigh your protein when it's cooked. Number 4, weigh your protein on a food scale in ounces. And then last one is just be consistent at least 5 to 6 days of the week when it comes to tracking your protein. I promise once you get in the habit of doing this, it's actually very easy. You're going to be accurate and you're going to have a lot more confidence in if you're building muscle. And the people who are serious about this goal tend to do it this way. But if not, we'll see you in the next video where you will use your hand size to determine your protein intake. See you soon.